We live and we die. We control nothing beyond that.
FX's Shogun, originally meant to be a limited series, has just been renewed for 2 more seasons. Based on James Clavell's novel, the show takes inspiration from real events in 16th century Japan, following Lord Yoshi Toranaga as he secretly schemes to rise to power. This isn't the first adaptation of Clavell's work, though. Shogun first hit TV screens as a miniseries in 1980. Critics have been loving Shogun on FX, with many saying it raises the bar for historical dramas, following in the footsteps of premium cable shows like HBO and Showtime. The series does a great job of bringing ancient Japan to life without getting lost in too many historical details. Even though the story wraps up neatly in line with the events from Clavell's novel, the ending hints at more to come, setting up for those extra seasons. With Season 2 of Shogun already in the works, we've got some exciting story hints and a filming timeline. Hiroyuki Sanada, who plays Toranaga, shared some insights into what we can expect. He teased that the story will take place before the peaceful era of Toranaga's rule, focusing on the dramatic events leading up to that time. Sanada also mentioned that while details are still unknown, the team is working hard in the writer's room every day, and they're aiming to start filming in 2025. New characters will join the story, and the upcoming seasons will stick closely to real Japanese history, especially the intense moments before Toranaga's reign of peace. As often happens with hit shows, Shogun's initial limited series label was quickly tossed aside after its massive success. Just days after it was announced that Hiroyuki Sanada, who stars as Toranaga, would return, FX and Hulu confirmed that the show is getting not 1, but 2 additional seasons. This news came right after the series broke records and became a major hit for the network. With seasons 2 and 3 officially in the works, many of the creative team behind the first season are returning. So how can Shogun continue its story into seasons 2 and 3? Well, while Season 1 adapted the entirety of James Clavell's 1975 novel, there are still plenty of ways to expand the narrative. The first season's finale wrapped up Toranaga's intricate journey to becoming Japan's shogun, but he still hasn't reached that goal yet. Seasons 2 and 3 can dive deeper into his rise to power, potentially showcasing the long-anticipated battle with the council that opposes him, and exploring whether Toranaga's plans unfold as expected. There's also a lot left to explore with John Blackthorne. Blackthorne has found a new purpose in Japan, building a fleet for Toranaga, though he remains unaware that Toranaga keeps him around for more personal reasons, humor, and diversion. This dynamic between Toranaga and Blackthorne could continue to be a central plot point, possibly leading to conflict if Blackthorne discovers the truth behind his role. Additionally, Season 1's finale teased some ambiguous moments about Blackthorne's future, which could be explored further. Another potential direction for the series is adapting one of the other novels in Clavell's Asian saga. Shogun is just one of 6 books in the series, all set in different parts of Asia and exploring the clash between Eastern and Western cultures. Moving forward with another of these books could introduce new characters and stories, allowing Shogun to expand its universe while staying true to its roots, rather than stretching the current adaptation too thin. Hiroyuki Sanada, who plays Yoshi Toranaga, is already confirmed to return for Shogun Season 2, having signed on even before FX and Hulu made the official announcement. With Season 3 also confirmed, there's a good chance he'll continue in the role for that as well. While other cast returns are still up in the air, co-lead Cosmo Jarvis, who plays English boat captain Major John Blackthorne, is expected to return, especially given his storyline's open-ended conclusion in Season 1's finale. Now let's dive into what's next for Toranaga. Season 1's finale brilliantly wrapped up the main character arcs, while also raising questions about Toranaga's future after his victory over Ishido. Based on Clavell's novel, which was inspired by the real-life Tokugawa Ieyasu, Shogun sets the stage for a new era in Japan. The finale made it clear that Toranaga's ultimate goal was to overthrow the regents and lead Japan into a peaceful period. In the finale, the only character who fully understood Toranaga's plan was Yabushige, who committed seppuku for aiding Ishido's plot to kill Mariko. Though we didn't see the battle between Toranaga's and Ishido's forces, it was clear that Toranaga would win. John Blackthorne, meanwhile, whose character is based on William Adams, had dreamt of returning home to England, but with his ship destroyed, it seems unlikely he'll ever make it back. This bittersweet end to Season 1 set the stage for the next chapter in Toranaga's journey. As for Toranaga's rise to power, his plan to become shogun was always in motion. In a conversation with Yabushige, Toranaga revealed that he envisioned a peaceful Japan, free from internal wars, with himself as the ultimate military leader, the first true shogun in years. His closest allies were unaware of the full extent of his strategy, including defeating Ishido before the war even began. Toranaga's plan will succeed, and he will indeed become shogun, following the real-life path of Tokugawa Ieyasu. Tokugawa Ieyasu's story, after the Battle of Sekigahara, mirrors Toranaga's in many ways. Ieyasu replaced the Council of Elders and became the true ruler of Japan, a role he held with the support of influential figures, including the Taiko's heir and Yodo no Kata, but eventually Ieyasu moved against the heir Toyotomi Hideyori, leading to the latter's seppuku. This pivotal moment in Ieyasu's life was reflected in Shogun, where characters like Ochiba no Kata and Ishido helped shape Toranaga's rise to power. With the support of Ochiba no Kata, Toranaga easily gathered allies who had previously backed Ishido, and once the heir was no longer a threat, Ishido stood no chance. This is why Shogun didn't show the Battle of Sekigahara in full. By the time Toranaga met Ishido on the battlefield, his plan had already ensured his victory. In the finale of Shogun, Toranaga's victory over Ishido is a result of several key events that unfold in the final episodes. One major turning point is the death of Lady Mariko, which disrupts Ishido's power structure. Mariko's sacrifice leads to the destabilization of Osaka Castle, as Ishido loses the support of several powerful daimyos and faces growing internal conflicts. Mariko's death also deeply affects Ochiba no Kata, who had a close relationship with her. This tragedy makes Ochiba rethink her stance on the war, eventually aligning with Toranaga. Before her death, Mariko had urged Ochiba to support Toranaga, and in the end, she did, which significantly strengthened Toranaga's position. With Ochiba's backing and the heir now on his side, Toranaga's victory was all but assured, and Ishido's defeat at the Battle of Sekigahara became inevitable. Toranaga also made a crucial move by having John Blackthorne's ship burned. While it was made to look like an act of betrayal by a traitor in Ajiro, Toranaga orchestrated it to keep Blackthorne in Japan. This was part of a deal made by Mariko with the Portuguese to save Blackthorne's life, while ensuring he could never leave Japan. Toranaga knew that Blackthorne's presence would work in his favor, keeping his enemies distracted while he maneuvered behind the scenes. Blackthorne, who believed he was using Toranaga, never realized that the Lord of Kanto was actually using him as a pawn. Another significant moment is the seppuku of Yabushige, who had conspired with Ishido. As Yabushige prepared to die, he sought to understand Toranaga's ultimate plan. After learning the truth, Toranaga, with a subtle smile, hinted that his ultimate goal had always been to become shogun, a plan he had carefully kept to himself. This moment marked the culmination of Toranaga's strategic manipulation, and once Yabushige was dead, the truth was buried with him. Blackthorne's fate, however, was sealed. In the opening sequence of the finale, we see an elder Blackthorne reflecting on his life in Japan, holding Mariko's cross. It initially suggests that he eventually returns to England, but this is revealed to be a dream. Toranaga had made it clear that Blackthorne's destiny was to stay in Japan, and even if he somehow built a new ship, Toranaga would burn it too. The dream sequence was a metaphor for Blackthorne's failed hope of returning home, as he would never leave Japan. In the end, Shogun's finale was less about action and more about the political maneuvers that set the stage for Toranaga's future. The season wrapped up many character arcs, but also left room for the story to continue. With Season 2 and 3 confirmed, the series will explore Toranaga's rule as shogun and the real historical events that followed. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.